Now, yeah, I know that they was gonna come out here and defend that man. And that's exactly what they did. Oh yeah, if y'all like the lightning and whatever, man, my bad, man. I've been trying to work on some things. Yo, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We about to get into this. Them Democrat main medias, man. Ooh wee, boy. They do anything they can to defend that man. But I guess that's their job. So it is what it is. And us, we got a job as content creators too, is to kind of expose all this craziness. So, so you can really see what's going on. So you didn't gotta believe it. You can get it from other American people like us. You see what I'm saying? That can see past that craziness. And we gonna get into it. But yeah, y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, and thank everybody that's supporting the channel, because my numbers is going up, especially my shorts. Hey, I see y'all out there, man. Hit that like button, man. Ain't nothing but love right here, man. And we about to get into this, because they don't care. They gonna defend that man regardless. And we gonna get into it. And let me run this intro real quick, you know what I'm saying, and get everything prepared. And y'all know how we do. Earth Talk Studios. I am Zeb Tepi. Here we go.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Look,
What you mean I don't smile no more?
like I
Yeah,
said,
I do. Talk to him. Nah, stop it. You know what I'm saying? They taking it to a whole nother level now. Come on, man. Look, they want you to rap like them, sound like him, sound like her. I ain't got no time for that. Let's go, man. Hey, yo, here I come, baby. Look, y'all, stop hanging with the funny folks. You know the ones that crack jokes and they always broke. You know the ones that... Boom, bam. Now, check this out. So, y'all know, man, it's these people, it's these mainstream media. Some of them, oh, God, they just... Oh, you know what I'm saying? You be one of, you know? But anyway, and Reid, let me tell y'all right now, she do not speak for all black folks. I'm letting y'all know off the jump. She do not speak for black. She might speak for you, but she don't speak for me. I'm just letting it be known. But gosh, she's the worst. Anyway. Look, she make me lose my train of thought sometimes, y'all. I'm saying that lady, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Goddamn Reid. Anyway, so let's watch it. Let's check it out. Y'all know how I do. We're not gonna talk that much. We're gonna get into it. And by the way, before we start, I did drop my new video. I'm gonna put the link in the description, so y'all go check it out. It's hot, it's blazing. I hope you like it. If you do what you do, and you don't, you don't. It is what it is. We try our best out here. Hey, at least we ain't, trying to mislead people as some people out here in the world. So let's get into this right here. Come on, y'all. This can watch. I ain't even seen it. This is going to be crazy.
It was really a very interesting and, I think, unpredictable hour in terms of how much news the president was going to break. I mean, we're all watching for the president's performance here, but he did also...
Let me catch y'all up to speed. Joe Biden did a live press conference, live solo press conference, where as if it was Trump, they just be boom, 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 boom. Here, question there, question this, answer this, boom. You see what I'm saying? With no teleprompters, no nothing, no earpieces, none of that. It's supposed to have been a live thing. Straight up Joe Biden to the people and to the press. But, I don't know, man. In the beginning of it, he said, yeah, I got a list of folks. I got a list of folks to call on, so let me call on you first. I thought it was not scripted or rehearsed. Live mean live. Like right now, it's live. Like if I'm messing up, I'm messing up. He had the sheet. He had the names of the people that he's supposed to call. I ain't see the whole thing. I just took little bits of it because once he called Kamala Harris Trump, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this. I'm not gonna watch all this. Man, that man need help. And y'all need to be helping him and stop playing around. Anyway, let's get into it. Yeah, but they gonna watch. I knew it. They're gonna defend him. They gonna defend this man. The Democrats, that's what they do. Let's get in it.
So break some news just on the issue of domestic politics, talking about saying the delegates to the Democratic Convention are free to vote their conscience.
I'm gonna start it over. With this lady right here, I think her name is Maddow. With her, Rachel Maddow. The thing about her, y'all need to know who her father is, probably first of all, and their connections. But anyway, you can tell when she's under pressure because she starts stuttering. She starts stuttering a lot. When she knows that it really doesn't make no sense or whatever, she get to stuttering. Watch. That's her flaw. Her flaw is stuttering.
Describing that, answering that in such a way as if that's obvious.
Watch. I'm going to point them out so y'all can see how they defend him. Watch. Let's go.
It was really a very interesting and I think unpredictable hour in terms of how much news the president was going to break. I mean, we're all watching for the president's performance here, but he did also break some news just on the issue of domestic politics, talking about saying the delegates to the Democratic Convention are free to vote their conscience.
Trying to make them look good now. Trying to make them look good.
Answering that in such a way as if that's obvious. That's not necessarily a thing that is obvious. Also, the president laying down at the very end of his remarks there a sort of predicate for what it would take for him to leave the race. He said he would leave the race if his advisors came to him and showed him the data that said there was, quote, no way you can win, meaning no way that President Biden, could win. He then also said emphatically that no poll says that. But he's essentially establishing that as the threshold that would need to be crossed if he was going.
You see that? Look at her facial expression. She's doing everything she can. She's doing everything she can. Sorry, y'all, about the mic. She's doing everything that she can to try to prove a point to the Democrat people or to the people, that's in the Democrat Party that Joe Biden still got it, y'all. They doing all they can. Watch.
To leave. So, and I won't go on at length. I will just say, though, you noted that there were some moments of, startlingly impressive command of the issues.
God, Joy Reid like she ready to just tear a hole in somebody. Like she just got pure evil in her. Hatred. Like, oh, come on, y'all don't see this?
My opinion, he is not only strong on
they
foreign
got
policy.
Four of the Donald Trump haters. It's two more that's not on there. What's that dude named The Morning Show? Joe Sosborough and that lady, they supposed to be married or whatever. Boy, these folks, I'm trying to tell you. Y'all better watch out, man.
Just fundamentally right on foreign policy in the way that he talks about it. And again, your mileage may vary. That is how I feel about the way he talks about our relationship with our allies and our relationship with NATO. You can hear his command of the issues, particularly in his asides, smiled like she's mentioning glad to be a part of something. That it was Turkey really that needed really to be talked into an expansion of NATO that included Finland and Sweden. Talking about the numbers of Russian troop losses in Ukraine. Talking about the fact that he turned in his notes after he spoke privately with President Xi, alluding to the fact that Trump had all those weird meetings with the Russians and Putin in which he had no note taker present. I mean, it's even in the little asides where it just shows you he is a master of the foreign policy field and has been for decades in his career in the Senate, the vice president, and the presidency. And yet he undercuts his own presentation of those facts.
She's talking so much, she can't even breathe. She's trying to defend him so bad that she can't even breathe. calm down. Calm down. God. I'm gonna go back and then we gonna. My bad, y'all, cause sometimes it just get my blood boiling. All right, here we go.
It was really a very interesting and I think unpredictable hour in terms of how much news the president was going to break. I mean, we're all watching for the president's performance here, but he did also break some news just on the issue of domestic politics, talking about saying the delegates to the Democratic Convention are free to vote their conscience, describing that, answering that in such a way as if that's obvious. That's not necessarily a thing that is obvious. Also, the president laying down at the very end of his remarks there a sort of predicate for what it would take for him to leave the race. He said he would leave the race if his advisors came to him and showed him the data that said there was, quote, no way you can win.
And another thing I need to understand, when they start talking fast and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, you got to start picking up, you know what I'm saying, because half the time when they start talking fast, like, you know what I'm saying, like this, you get lost in their words and they thinking they doing something, but they're not really doing it because they talking fast. Hell, people from New York, I'm from New York too, you know what I'm saying, half of me is St. Louis, half of me from New York, and we talk fast shit, so, but all them words, it comes through. Sometimes you're gonna be like, what? But don't let it slip past you, y'all. She talk fast. They talk fast. Fast talkers.
Biden could win. He then also said emphatically that no poll says that. But he's essentially establishing that as the threshold that would need to be crossed if he was
talking
going
loud,
to
saying
leave.
nothing.
And I won't go on at length. I will just say, though, you noted that there were some moments of, startlingly impressive command of the issues. This is just my opinion. He is not only strong on foreign policy, he is just fundamentally right on foreign policy in the way that he talks about it. And again, your mileage may vary. That is how I feel about the way he talks about our relationship with our allies and our relationship with NATO. You can hear his command of the issues, particularly in his asides, like mentioning as an offhand way that it was Turkey really that needed really to be talked into an expansion of NATO that included Finland and Sweden, talking about the numbers of Russian troop losses in Ukraine, talking about the fact that he turned in his notes after he spoke privately with President Xi, alluding to the fact that Trump had all those weird meetings with the Russians and Putin in which he had no note taker present. I mean, it's even in the little
You see that? You see what she just did there? She started talking real fast and start throwing topics here, there, and then the last thing what she said, y'all, just 4 minutes ago, Putin. But she won't say that Joe Biden just called the president from Ukraine Putin. Defend that one. But what she do, they try to make the Russia and that little gaffe from what he did with the Ukraine president, they try to make it disappear.
Where it just shows you he is a master of the foreign policy field and has been for decades in his career in the Senate,
manipulator like Drake.
And yet he undercuts his own presentation of those facts simply in the way that he presents them, with his self-interrupting and elliptical style, the very soft-spoken monotone that he sometimes uses. There's a style. There's a big mismatch
Joe
between
Biden,
the stylistic.
He's soft-spoken. Come on, man.
Presentation and his truly masterful command of the subject matter on the subject that
Don't be blinded, y'all. Don't be blinded.
This presser, which was foreign policy.
That's, I think, incredibly well said. I would also note on foreign policy, he also got a question about Israel, a very long answer that was interesting, and I think measured in ways that some of his previous statements on that conflict haven't quite been. He also said it's time for this war to end. I mean, that statement, which also struck me as new.
See, basically what this is right here, this right here, this is a cleanup show. They're trying to clean up all that stuff that happened at that live press conference. This is what this is. This is a cleanup show, y'all. This is why they got the 4. Look who they picked. The 4, the top 4. It's like I said, it's 2 more missing. This is a cleanup show.
And I believe was the sentence that he uttered. Let me go to you, Joy, for your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways this was a classic Biden. Foreign policy is his bailiwick. He was, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. As he mentioned, this is his strong point. And I think the parts where the press conference went into foreign policy and became rather sort of a mundane press conference, this was not like strictly the White House press corps. So it gave President Biden an opportunity to be normal. A lot of this struck me as just very normal. And I think that is something that he needed.
So that's
Biden
normal.
as the
normal? That's normal? That's normal. Joy Reid, that's normal? So if you go visit your mama, if you go visit your mother and you forget your mama's first name, that's normal. Okay. All right.
long time policy wonk. He gave himself credit for getting 50 nations to agree to expand NATO. He was very, there was a lot of sort of self-praise of his own foreign policy, which I think is important. He touted his victories. He had a really passionate moment at the end where he talked about the fact we need to control guns, not girls. And he got really passionate about more children being killed by a bullet than any place on earth in the United States of America. So he showed some passion there. I think, the gaffes and mixing up names, I think for people who've been observing Joe Biden for a really long time, that's actually just normal Biden. Like, he does mix up names. He was known for gaffes. This is the joke that was always about Joe Biden, is that he's the gaffe guy. So I don't know that that is necessarily going to harm him in some special way. It's the fact
you
that
see what I'm saying? That's normal. Oh, that's just Joe Biden. That's how he gets down, y'all. He calls the Ukraine president the Putin, even though they had World War III. He mistaken people's words. You know what I'm saying? He think Kamala Harris is Donald Trump. His dog is just biting everybody in the White House. I mean, this is just normal behavior, y'all. Y'all should be used to this. This is normal. This is what we do in America. It's okay. It's if your mama's name is Sylvia, it's okay to call her Helen. See, Mama, you see what I did there? Don't worry about that. Boy, if I call my mama another name, she look at me like I'm. Boy, you did what? Let's get back to. Let's hear this again. Let's go back just a tad bit. I told Joy Reid, man, these people crazy.
Any place on earth in the United States.
They defend them to the end.
There.
But do what you got to do.
The gaffes and mixing up names, I think for people who've been observing Joe Biden for a really long time, that's actually just normal Biden.
Oh, my God.
He does mix up names. He was known for gaffes. This is the joke that was always about Joe Biden, is that he's the gaffe guy. So I don't know that that is necessarily going to harm him in some special way. It's the fact that he had the energy, the capacity, and the ability to be normal Joe Biden. If
Get
a
the
little
black
more
voters.
forced,
Get the black
if a
voters.
little bit
Go
more,
ahead, Joy Reid.
Obviously older, just an older version of the Biden that we've sort of gotten used to over the years. It was the abnormality
Come on, black people.
of the Biden
That's just normal.
in the debate with Donald Trump that threw people off so much. But I will close just by saying the guy that we just saw for the last hour is definitely not someone who is considering leaving the race. He cited the polls showing that there's no data that he's seen that says that he can't win. He was very praiseworthy of Kamala Harris, of Vice President Harris, as he should be, and said some really warm and good things about her. But he also said...
Let me tell y'all something. Look at their facial expressions. Look at the guy. Didn't they teach you in school about facial expressions? The happy, the mouth look. When you're happy, when everything's happy, your mouth go like this, it go up. It's happy. Look at the guy's face. Look at his lips. Right now, look at his lips. What kind of face is that right there, y'all? That's a sad face. Sad face. Sad face mean what? I'm not happy.
Even though that he believes that she is
boy.
clearly qualified to be president, and that's why he chose her, even if someone showed him data that showed that she did better than him, unless he sees data that he can't win, this doesn't sound like a man that's thinking about getting out.
That's a great point. I thought it was an excellent question, actually, by that the last reporter there with that counterfactual. I thought it was a really interesting question and straightforward and well delivered. I thought, actually, the questions generally were quite good. Nicole, your thoughts after watching that?
Well, I think the reporter who asked the second question about the president mixing up Vladimir Putin and President Zelensky.
Let's talk about it.
Went right at what this is really about, right? Are you in decline? Was his answer.
Well, let's talk about it. Watch defense. It's going to be, it probably be impeccable. Like I said, I haven't seen this, but I'm just going off of what Joy Reid says is normal. So let's see what she said. Shit, this is crazy, boy. But after watching stuff like this, I need me a shot. Thank God it's Friday.
And I thought it was a good moment for the journalists for having the courage to, those rooms can be intimidating. And it was a good moment for the president to take that on and give his answer. And again, it's not up to us. It's up to the voters and it's up to the Democrats whether or not they accept that answer. I think that this is another split screen moment. I mean, my understanding is that tomorrow a political dam is likely to break. CBS News is reporting tonight that 40 Democrats are likely to break with President Joe Biden tomorrow. There's a report in ABC News that people who were at the Juneteenth event report seeing that Joe Biden that the world saw at the debate, an echo to the George Clooney letter from yesterday. I think we were reminded of all of this president's strengths. I think that the room disappeared when David Sanger of the New York Times asked this president about China.
Oh, my
and you got the
God.
impression he would have stood there and talked to David Sanger for 45 more minutes. He wasn't in a hurry. He wasn't defensive. The tough questions in some ways served him better than anything else in the room. But I think that the other train is in motion. And I think, you know, two things on the politics. There's no incumbent president with lower approval ratings who won. There are only 3 with lower approval ratings than he has right now, and they all lost. Donald Trump, George H.W. Bush, and Jimmy Carter. So some of the political information is what worries some folks.
Now it's time to talk about Donald Trump.
There is right now no poll that shows him winning.
Yeah, I think that's all well said. I mean, the political calculations.
It's only like 5 more minutes left. Before this thing in, I'm predicting. I'm trying to tell y'all, they're gonna say something about. They're gonna talk bad about Donald Trump.
I thought, you know, him saying that I would drop out if they said there's no way he could win, and no poll shows that. Of course, no single poll could show that, right? So this is fundamentally him saying that is. To me, puts his finger on what has made this so difficult and so anguishing for so many people, which is that we just don't know the future. No one does. And no one gets to say, if you do this thing definitively, then this will follow, because that's not the way it works. There was something he said that I thought was very striking, where he talked about, and I thought this was honest, and I think it actually gives a window in the psychology. He says, I've got to finish the job. And he said that emphatically, and I've been comparing him to a World Series starter.
I give him credit for that. I will give him credit for that. I mean, you started, you got to finish, but it's taking too long. Oh man, let me stop, man. Yeah, you got to finish what you started. Shit.
Game of the World Series, who's got 4 outs left to get in a close game that's thrown 120 pitches. And when the manager comes out to the mound,
even when you lose, you played a good game.
They're never like, yes, take me out.
We get it.
They curse into their glove. They go like this to the manager. They fight it. That, to me, I have to finish the job, Rachel, was an honest articulation of where all this motivation is coming from, even if he's not correct about his own political prospects or in denial about the inexorable trajectory of being a human being who is mortal, like we all
they
are.
Trying their hardest.
That was, to me, clarifying.
They trying their hardest to defend this, man.
And, you know, you make a really important point, Chris, that I think we can't say frequently enough as Democrats and people who want Donald Trump to be prevented from returning to the White House sort of anguish over this decision, which is that there is not perfect information about the future. And the argument that President Biden is best positioned to beat Donald Trump is an argument. There are other arguments that are also data-based that other people might have a better shot at it. I think that what Nicole points out about the reality about polling numbers for incumbent presidents and the real history of that versus what President Biden said, which was not actually factually accurate as far as I can tell. That's worrying because it makes me worry that the president is being given information about his political standing
Maddow speak, I don't know what the hell she be saying at
that may
times.
be sunnier than is real.
It's like going in one ear,
but
not
I
the
also
other.
think the president spoke from a factually grounded place throughout his entire remarks. And again, importantly, at the end, what did he say when he got that very sharp question? That's the very closing question from the entire presser when he was asked what he would need to hear to make him decide that the right thing to do for the country would be to leave. He did say in his answer to that, there are other Democrats who can beat Trump too. He said, I believe I am best qualified to govern. I believe I am best positioned, best qualified to beat him. There are other Democrats who could beat him, too. And as you said, the reason I would get out is if the data told me, the data showed that I was not going to.
We definitely going to find out, y'all.
Well, no data will ever show that definitively.
This is not over with.
But him acknowledging that it's not only him who could beat Trump is an important sort of message from the reality-based world.
Yes, there has been a picture of him in this kind of bunker. This is just getting started, y'all. Staff and a kind of mutually assured destruction, right? We're like, it's me or we're all going down together. Burn the boats is the sort of cliche I was thinking about, which is like there's no retreat, right?
Not me.
That was not his position. He clearly intends on staying in the race, believes he is the best person to be president and to beat Trump, but did not offer the kinds of categorical dismissals of Kamala Harris or other efforts against him that I thought were possible and seemed to be present.
What do you mean Kamala Harris? Don't you mean Vice President Trump?
Well, I should note that Jim Himes, who's the ranking member on intelligence, has come out with a statement saying he still believes the president needs
you should be talking about Vice President
as
Trump
the nominee for the Democratic Party. And I think one of the things we'll see in the fallout of this is it's almost impossible, I think, at this point, short of I don't know, running a 400-meter, that you're going to say to the people that think that you don't have a path to reassure them with press conferences, interviews, and the like. And to Nicole's point, I think we're likely to see more of that. Is there one more thing you want to say, Rachel?
There is just, I just wanted to add one other point there, which is, I think, critical on exactly that point you were making, which is that the president is losing the race right now. The polls don't show him winning. And that's consistent. It's not one poll. And he said, who believes the polls are right?
We're going to pull it off,
he has defied the polls in the past, and the Democrats defied the polls under his leadership in 2022 with the midterms, sure.
Bet you are.
But if the polls broadly, for the entire duration of this race, have broadly been accurate, he is losing. And so the thing that people need to hear in order to know that he can beat Donald Trump is how he's going to turn those polls around, what he's going to change in the campaign, what is going to change so that the current status quo, which is him losing, is not going to be the outcome. And there was no articulation of that. The closest he got to that was saying the campaign hasn't started. A lot of times people don't really start paying attention until Labor Day. That's not a great argument that we're just going to keep coasting in this losing position and hope that things turn around on their own in September. It's just not a good argument for turning things around. And it's also not an acknowledgement that things do need to be turned around if he's going to win.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert. And
we don't care about him. My bad. No disrespect, my dude. No disrespect, but it's over with. We saw what we need to see. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, there y'all go. There y'all have it. There you go. See? They're going to defend him no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man. I don't know. I know who I'm voting for, but that's up to me. You know what I'm saying? That's my decision. And it's up to you to find out who you're going for. It is what it is. Hey, y'all be easy out there, man. And like I said, I'm Earth Tepi. Y'all check out my new video. You know, I'm here. Earth Talk 777 Studios and broadcasting. We out of here. Peace.